guys, in today's video, if you guys saw in my posts, I'm going to be reviewing, or should I say tonight's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Ultra action figure series Ultraman Arc from Ultraman Arc. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with Ultraman Arc's box. So we got a nice image of Arc right there, the 4+ Bandai Ultraman Arc. Ultraman action figure articulation Ultraman, then Ultraman Arc at the top, Bandai Namco, and then the hanger, then the blank background, the side stuff again, and then the back shows all the other characters that are in the line as of then, which I think they added a few more, and I knocked down my Kaiji Brooklyn sign. But they have Zeton, which I don't have, same thing with Gigantron and him. I did a video on him, so you could check that one out. Then we got Ultraman Arc at the top, and then on the side we got another image of Arc and Fitting, because we have a picture of him right there. But there's Arc, same image as right here. But time to get into Arc's tag, which I got that. So we got a nice image of Arc right here, different from this Arc's tag because I got him from the America line instead of the this, and they look pretty similar, but this one he's holding his sword because the toy has the sword, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, he has the sword, and then it says Ultraman Arc then in Japanese. Then on the side it says from the land of light for the sake of us. I don't know what that is, but I know he's from the land of light. Then there's an image of Ultraman Arc shooting a beam from it, and then a side image of him. Some stats which are neat, which he's 48 meters, 32,000 tons, place of origin unknown, and then he has the Arc sword beam as the special move. So these tags are pretty informative, and they're not even tags, so they're cool collectible cards. But let's just get into Ultraman Arc's detail. Starting off with the face, we got some nice grooves in the head, like along the side and top, around this little diamond looking shape thing, and then the eyes are sculpted very nice. They have some groove detail in them, which if I can get the camera to focus, yeah, it looks very nice. Practically the same head sculpt they used for this is the exact same sculpt, except they changed it up like a very teeny bit, but this is definitely the exact same sculpt. But makes sense. But I definitely think obviously this figure is way better than the normal one, and in many reasons, but we'll get into that later. But I think you guys might already know. But moving into his ears, there's some nice detail there too. Same thing for the groove pattern. And then his little point at the top with some grooves at the back of his head where the point is. And some grooves around the black part of his neck. And then he has the groove, or the line that goes down to his gyat. And then on his back there's some patterning, and then there's some screws. Same thing with his neck. And then his arms have a bit of a nice detail, like again just patterning detail really. But the hands look very nice. Like you can also open them to see them better on the inside. But like the fingernails and the way the hands are sculpted look just, I think, really nice. And then the chest looks nice. I love how the color timer is sculpted. Pretty nice. Practically, again, the same sculpt as the normal one, but changed up practically a lot. And then there's some more detail here with some, again, patterning and then some grooves. And then the feet also have some nice groove detail. So, I definitely think 10 solid stars in terms of detail. But without further ado, let's get into size comparisons. Alrighty. Godzilla 2003. Graham Super Godzilla. Here's another action figure series guy that I pretty recently did a review on. Mecha Godzilla 2003, which they don't really scale that well, but they're pretty good. And finally, the Ultra Monster 500 series Ultraman Arc. So let's get into their comparison. But also for the detail section, we need to get into the sword, which is what I really also love about this set, I love how the sword looks. All the detail in the back of the sword with all the little grooves around it, especially where you hold the hand right there. The little handle is nice detail. Some nice detail in the top of the head, and especially the eyes. I think the eyes are sculpted very nice with all the grooves, and then sort of Rution's face, which is his name. But then there's some grooves that go all the way down to the tip of the sword, and it's same thing with the back, which let's get into size comparisons again. It is about 3.5 inches tall, and then Ultraman Arc or Rution is about 5.5 inches tall if you count the pointer at the top. But I didn't really get to show it off because since his hands do open, he can hold the sword. I was about to say hoard the sword. You can get it in. And yeah, it doesn't stay in the hand that well if you try moving his arm around with it in hand, but it looks very nice, so you can get some pretty badass poses in, which is what the back of the box had. So, yeah, the sword looks so nice in hand, and it's just so cool having Arc with the sword, because they didn't make one with a sword. Unlike they did that with Blazer, because he had a sword, but they didn't do it for the Sovi series, so that's a bit annoying. But, yeah, he got the sword, but, let's get into Ultraman's paint. His whole body is a nice silver, but some red around it, like in the waist area, the back, and then the back of the neck and head are all painted black, and then his head is silver again. The eyes are a nice gold, and then that nice light blue that I love, and same thing with the middle. Then a darker light blue that I also really like, and then some more just silver and red around the body. Looks way better paint than this guy, like by a lot. But also, I just love the shiny blue on this sword. Even though it's not painted at all on the back, it just looks so good. But then there is some silver on the front. It looks practically 1-to-1, except for the little rainbow spots on it. But this is Bandai and a kid's toy. They're not gonna put that unless it's probably SH Monster. But yeah, I feel like the only way you would put this on it scales with a Sovi series toy, but they can't hold it, so I'd have to duct tape it on him to do that. And I think pretty soon I'll do a playtime video, so like I'll do a monster playtime based off of Monster Island Buddies. It's huge. I just want to give a shout out to Monster Island Buddies. I'll put his channel in the link of my description, because he's just such a cool channel, and he's the inspiration or one of my many inspirations for starting this channel, but also probably just Godzilla. But yeah, I definitely think 10 solid stars in terms of paint with Ultraman Arc. But let's get into articulation, which we cannot include the sword. But yeah, we'll have to take this out, even though I just put it back in. But there's a lot. So the head can turn side to side, and then sort of has a ball joint, but it gets stuck because of that. So his arms, his left and right arms have ball joints in the top, so they can move up and down. And then his arms have a swivel in the middle, which is very nice. That rhymed. On the left and right sides. And then they also can bend up and down both ways. Pretty nice. And then the hands can also swivel all the way around on both sides. Very nice. Very easy. And then the fingers can move. Same thing as Ultraman Risings. They can move 1, then 2 together, so you can do some like peace signs. But yeah, he cannot do the middle finger. But we have to keep this kind of kid appropriate until I get like 13, because that's when I get to curse. But he has ball joints in his legs, and he can move up and down. And then his knees can move really far back. This reminds me a lot of my Chainsaw Man figure, which I think that'll be my next video for tomorrow. But his feet have ball joints as well. But yeah, I definitely think 10 solid stars in terms of articulation, because I mean, that's a lot. I think it's more than the Ultraman Rising figures, and I think he's way better. Because this guy, I feel like other Ultraman just look way better than the Rising. Because the Rising made him like so skinny. It was like honestly kind of annoying. But like I can hit such cool poses. And this guy, unlike the Sobe series one, the soft vinyl one, I mean that one scales with the movie monster series, but not like this. Like this is really good scaling, and then you could get him like fighting Super Godzilla or any Godzilla, especially the other articulated ones. You could check out my video on this guy if you want, or any of the videos I've shown it on this video. But I also want to go over something really quick because I wasn't speaking about Ultraman Rising a lot for nothing. I did get his piece, which is him shooting the fist, and it's time to check if it does fit on him. And it does. So you can have this cool ass pose where Ultraman has the sword and the fist in hand. That just looks so cool, I think. But yeah, this is just such a cool thing. So if you didn't know that and you want it now, this just looks so cool. He should have had this attack, I feel like. It just looks so good on him. But yeah, that is it for today's video on Ultraman Arc from the Sobe series. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for the Bandai anime figure line, Chainsaw Man.